In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. You know your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. Oh, with Solana ID you are in control. From the blockchain to the web we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID your reputation grows. Let's do it once more. With Solana ID you are in control. From the blockchain to the web we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID as your reputation grows. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. You know your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. Oh, with Solana ID you are in control. From the blockchain to the web we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID your reputation grows. Let's do it once more. With Solana ID you are in control. From the blockchain to the web we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID as your reputation grows. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. You know your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. Oh, with Solana ID you are in control. From the blockchain to the web we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID your reputation grows. Let's do it once more. With Solana ID you are in control. From the blockchain to the web we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID as your reputation grows. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. You know your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. Oh, with Solana ID you are in control. From the blockchain to the web we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID your reputation grows. Let's do it once more. With Solana ID you are in control. From the blockchain to the web we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your sole ID as your reputation. nation grow.
What's up, Jam everyone, and welcome to Solid Talk number 85. Thanks for tuning in again when it is time for the Solidians to assemble in the little room behind the curtain, as I like to say, because here we chat about all things on ID, but also Solami. So we're going to take a look at the markets, we're going to take a look at the charts, and we're going to take a look at Solana updates from left to right, and maybe some things that are just generally hot on the timeline these days. That we can also talk about. We've been diving deeper into AI-related topics as well. So that might be another opportunity today to do as well, because there have been some interesting updates from the Claude universe in the past week as well that we might want to talk about. And yeah, this guy is still trying to get his tech in order, but what's up, man? You all right? What are you doing there?
Ich bin am Ausrasten hier.
Okay, alrighty. Let's. We're gonna give this man another minute because technology is not his friend today, and he's trying to get his camera ready, I think. But your camera is fine, bro. So whenever you feel like you're ready to go, just tune in. Drop a GM if you're with us right now, ladies and gents in the audience. Say hi. We have Alden right here. GM Alden, thanks for tuning in. Chills is here as well. Foodle. GM, a solid talk with green markets has been a while. That is actually very true. And we're gonna figure out today if this is it now or if this is just a fake out. GM Solid Farm, Simon Flying Solo, nope. Finger, let's go. Grim is here as well. GM Grim, Janis tuning in as always. Carlos Alberto is with us, and of course Cyber. The hair is coming back. It is actually really quick, and I haven't decided yet if I just keep shaving the shit or if I let it grow. So we'll see. We'll see about that. Let's check in with Pierre again because I locked the angle right now. So this is Pierre, my co-host here right now on the screen, trying to get his shit together.
Just trying to this stupid microphone.
Don't worry about it. We can hear you. Like it's not. Let us know if you guys can hear Pierre and if you feel comfortable with his mic setting or if you want him to tinker further. But before we start to talk about markets and Solami a little bit, I just returned from a journey this weekend. People who followed me on Twitter, you guys might have seen a little bit what happened. But I went on a little side mission for 2 days in this last week, and I flew down to Dubai. I met with Mert, founder of Helios, and we recorded a quick interview. And since we're in this room of citizens here, I like to give some alpha here and there. So I think it's gonna. I don't know yet if it's gonna be as fun as the one we did with Vidor for Solana Ecosystem Call 1, but it's certainly gonna be interesting as well. So we basically did the same thing again. It is the interview was recorded for the ecosystem call. So if you guys wanna check out the full thing, not the full thing, but if you wanna check out the show version of it, then make sure that you're coming on the last Thursday of this month at 10 a.m. Again to the ecosystem call, because that's when the interview is gonna air. And yeah, it was interesting. But Mert is I think he's just much more skilled in answering questions in a public domain. And with people like this, I found out now, it is certainly more difficult to get them to do things on camera that they usually wouldn't do outside of this interview, if that makes sense. So the whole concept of Below the Belt is to talk about things and ask questions that are out of the ordinary. And that is pretty much what I'm trying to do with this format. But the format is still so new, and I'm still learning as well how to play that character in the interview, that we might need a few more runs. But the good news is we already have an even higher profile guest secured for next month and already scheduled in. So I think we're progressing really nicely to ship very entertaining interviews to you guys that are with very relevant and interesting individuals and putting them in a light that they are usually not used to. That's pretty much what we're doing. And we're asking the spicy questions as well. I think I think the Emerge interview is probably a more healthy 50-50, maybe 60-40 weight when it comes to serious questions who are potentially taking over more of the interview than unserious questions. But that is obviously not a bad thing. Depends what we want this format to look like. But yeah, so long story short, TLDR, I went on my little side mission and returned this a few days ago. And interesting call number 2 is going to go live end of this month. This is obviously an important part of my life right now as well, and of our whole doings here, because the Solana team is essentially also, too large. System call. So yeah, that's the update. And then second, that trip was a trip to Dubai. So that is also something interesting these days. I don't know if you guys followed the social FUD about Dubai in the past couple of weeks after the Iran war started, and they definitely walked away with a blue eye, I would say. But the city is still fucking amazing, and there's no one there, which is great. So I had a good time actually in Dubai because it was very calm, very quiet. I met my friends, the people that still live there. Obviously, some of them are not leaving, and they feel safe there. So yeah, that was certainly interesting. And speaking of interesting people in Dubai, I'm just gonna head over here and share my screen, because one of the interesting people in Dubai that I was meeting is this guy, Solana Sensei, and that's a good pivot. That's a good segue into the weekly digest that he's putting out every single week. And yeah, Sensei is shipping, and he actually posted one journey about himself, or one little story about himself as well. I think it was yesterday when he posted this, and I found this also very inspiring. So just a really quick shout out to Sensei and his journey, because where it all started, this guy is posting so much stuff. Where it all started is pretty much here. Receipts from 2021, and when I met the guy first time, I think it was 2022, if I recall correctly. And back then he was still super deep in NFTs, and he was talking a lot about NFTs, because NFTs were just a little bit more hot still than right now. There was before he launched his second Sensei collection, or the actual Solana Sensei collection. But already in 2021, he was sharing Excel sheets on Twitter with floor prices from NFT collections. He had like a few thousand followers at the time, and he did a manual curation of an Excel sheet. There was no ChatGPT, I think, involved back then, at least barely. It was just launched in the end of 21, I think. I had to collect data from different Solana marketplaces one by one. No charts back then, no dashboards, no fancy analytics. Every day, the exact time, I would log the numbers for myself, create consistent 24-hour data points. And then 5 to 20 people were actively engaging with those posts. Now, the same guy is now the guy that I'm meeting when I'm going on my trips sometimes around the world, and he's in peace with himself. I mean, you all know Sensei, and how he behaves on Twitter is actually not too far away from his real person. It's not a big stretch, but he did very well. And obviously now with more than 240,000 followers, he has much more pull and gets better deals as well with brands than back then, when he had like a few dozen people engaging with his posts. Long story short, the guy's been around for years, and he's still fucking active every single day and posting on Twitter. And that's pretty much all he does. So, but it works for him. It works for him. And the learning of the story, as so often, is that sometimes consistency is all you need, because this is not an elaborate business scheme that he's running here. He's just coming up with fun ideas to cover Solana content, right? And he's sitting down in the evenings, a few hours, in creative bursts of ideas, and writes down post ideas. And then he does things like this as well, the Solana Weekly Digest, which also gets decent engagement. And that's pretty much it, right? It's not rocket science. And it worked out really well for him. So sometimes consistency is all you need. Speaking of consistency, where's Pierre? Have you been able to make your
why is it so dark? So dark. Does it only look so dark for me, or is it also for you?
Yeah. I mean, it is, I guess, dark where you are.
No, but I see the camera there,
Okay.
and there it looks not so dark. It's only, I don't know.
No, you're good.
I mean,
You're good. Yin and yang. Solid Vibes says Dogo, G Solid says Hector, and welcome bro says Cyber. Yeah, welcome Hector, and GM Dogo as well. But yeah, do you know the backstory of Sensei, by the way? Not really, right?
what
Not so
exactly
much.
the backstory?
Like where he came from and how he started on Solana, like things like this that I just referred to, like this kind of 2021 was like
a little bit, but not as much.
I didn't. I think he's one of the guys who actually started when Solana was just there, you know, like at the very beginning, where a few tech nerds were around, and then he was one of the first people, I guess, that did content for it. But that's like fucking 5 years now, which is insane. Where am I here? But I was saying, Weekly Digest. I wanted to use the segue of talking about Sensei to also talk a little bit about some happenings on the timeline right now, because that is also what we do here. We try to keep you guys up to date with things on Solami, and we drop a few of our opinions on that. First and foremost, X launched cash tags. Have you seen that, Pierre?
Yeah. But wasn't that already announced, I don't know, 2 years ago, or at least someone talked about it, that it's coming soon, and even Solana made an announcement about it, and then people were also bullshitting, or not bullshitting, but they were saying that Solana said it was Solana powered, but it was actually not Solana powered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was announced very early this year or very late last year, that it will be a thing, that it, like Nikita, I think just Nikita posted about it probably privately, publicly. So he said something like, okay, we're going to work on some technology called cash tags where we do X, Y, Z. But then that's it. And now they launched it. And I suppose, I actually don't know if it's live yet. Probably not. But I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's live yet. Maybe it's live only. I think it's
maybe
live only in the US.
Mobile version.
Also possible.
Could also be.
Yeah. But I think, what's the announcement here? I actually don't know. Probably not. But the funny thing about it is that, as Sensei was elaborating here in his post, infrastructure is actually being built by a bunch of Solana companies that are helping with the underlying technology. I think Dialect is probably the biggest data provider for that for the cash tags, but then Helios is involved. I also know for a fact that Bird Eye is involved with Bird Eye data. And they're all sending basically data to X to make sure that cash tags work reliably, so that when you paste a pub key or when you paste or type in a ticker, you actually get the right coin listed. It is, if you think about it, it is kind of cool that the biggest social media platform, actually, you don't know, one of the biggest social media platforms these days, is now providing Solana support, if you want to say so, right? Like they have Solana integrated for data feeds, and they think that Solana assets that are on the Solana blockchain are relevant enough to need a dedicated infrastructure on that social media app. I think it's a big deal, honestly. I actually think it's a big deal, because this proves the point again, that we're kind of on the way of making it global adoption, pushing technology out that's actually being used, yada, yada, yada. Obviously they didn't put Cardano there or some shit, right? So I think it's a win for Solana. TLDR. Another win for Solana is that Drift protocol got saved by Tether and a bunch of other partners that are providing more than $150 million support to relaunch Drift with USDT as a backbone, powering it all, which is very interesting. that is definitely a very interesting, development. Be right back. I'm crying. We come back stronger. Drift is announcing collaboration with Tether and other partners. These funds encompass 100 million revenue-linked credit facility, an ecosystem grant, and loans to market makers, blah, 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 blah. They have a recovery pool where a substantial portion of this money here, I guess the $100 million or part of that, goes into the, of the revenue actually goes into the recovery pool. So most of the revenue goes to the recovery pool, first and foremost. Together with committed support capital is intended to fund this dedicated user recovery pool. So that means that they are actually now actively trying to recover assets of users. They even launched a dedicated token, recovery token, to streamline the distribution of recovery assets. So I guess they're going to send that token to people. Very interesting as well. Very interested to see how that's going to play out. And obviously a hardened security framework and so on. So yeah, there was a fucking roller coaster, the whole Drift thing. Obviously, we're not completely over the hill yet, but as it looks like, Drift is gonna stay around. Insert clap audio here, which is great. So I wasn't so sure when I first saw about the hack. So they're gonna stick around. That's great. And they're gonna come back in a kind of new shape and form with Tether as a backbone, with a lot of strategic involvement from Tether, I suppose, because for Tether, this was a distressed company that they saved now. So I'm pretty sure that they have their own interests in doing this. One of them is obviously to use USDT instead of any other stablecoin as a backbone for the whole lending markets on Drift, which is just securing Tether a shitload of TVL, I guess. But yeah, super interesting. Looking forward to see how that recovery phase now is going to work out, if that's also working out for users the way they imagine it, if they're all going to get their money back, and if Drift is going to recover from the brand impact that they took from this. Do you think they can recover here from such an incident, a brand with like a name without any change in, Drift is Drift, right? That's what are we going to remember this, or are we going to forget about it in half a year?
It's hard for me to judge. I've never used Drift myself. I would say if I use them and they, while they got exploited, I would probably not use them again. Because in this industry, you cannot do this, in my opinion. Like, I'm happy for them that they got saved and whatever, but I would never use them again if I would be.
Yeah, I think it's
the same with FTX. Imagine FTX will be relaunched now. Will you ever use FTX? No, I'm traumatized. I will not fucking use FTX ever.
They shouldn't even. Do you actually think they're gonna relaunch this shit with the same brand name? They would be so stupid.
I don't know. They talked about it at some point.
I mean, it could also be a good thing because it is a very well-known brand now, but just too negative. Like this is a very difficult thing to pull off. Recover from this, because also Drift is now in today's economy, on-chain economy, they're not the only ones anymore. So you have competitors to Drift, and obviously people just gonna go to the competitors that have proven to be a bit more secure in the past. So to convince people to switch back to Drift now, they have to really offer very good, convincing and appealing things to them, to users, right? And I'm not saying they can pull it off. I'm just facing the reality, really, which is that brand damage has been done. And as you say, the consumer choice is very quickly made to not go anywhere where such a security incident happened. Maybe it would have been a better call to rebrand or just create a new company or whatever. But on the other side, I do actually respect a lot their effort of finding a move, instead of giving up as a team. They were obviously really driven to find a move, to find a way out, to come back, right? And now they're saying we come back stronger. So I wish it works. That's I think all I can say. On other news, less impactful, I would say, than these first two items here. But still very interesting. Jupiter has now tokenized stocks on JuPlend. That means you can actually borrow against your stock holdings. Again, no idea how I would do that in the real world. In crypto, extremely easy now. Means the UX of crypto apps is actually becoming better than the UX of TradFi app, which I like. So that's cool. Do you have an idea how to even buy stocks, Pierre? without a, you couldn't, right? I mean, maybe you have a Revolut account. You can just click a button there. But I wouldn't know how to borrow money
before that I used to buy some stocks. But
fair.
guys are motherfuckers. They are the worst. Never open an eToro account. And if you have one, move your funds away and go somewhere else. I swear to God.
What did they do to you?
It took me more than a year to withdraw some funds that I had still there.
What?
Yeah,
why would it take
they are all idiots. If you hear that, eToro, I hope you hear. You guys are motherfuckers. All of your employees are motherfuckers. And I wish that your fucking platform dies.
Perfect. Rens, please clip this, and we're gonna make a clip out of this. Hate speech against eToro.
You want to hear the story, or?
I mean, depends how long it is. Go ahead.
You can make it short.
Yeah, make it short.
I can try to make it short.
Let's see what you can do.
It all started when I moved to the Philippines. Because
that sounds loud.
When I moved here, eToro was still operating in the Philippines, so there was no issue at all. I could enter the platform, I could buy some stocks, I could add funds, withdraw funds, and whatever. So everything was fine. And then at some point, they stopped supporting the Philippines as a country. So you cannot open an account anymore if you're a Filipino. And I wanted to withdraw my money from there, but my account was connected to a Philippine mobile number. And then they have this two-factor authentication where they try to send you a one-time passport to your mobile number so you can log in. And the OTP never arrived. And then I talked to the support, and they said, yeah, the OTP never arrives because you are in the Philippines and your number is from the Philippines. We do not support numbers from the Philippines anymore. So you can never receive this OTP.
That's so stupid.
And I said, okay, good to know. So how can I enter my account now again? And then it was all message via email because their support is also very shitty. And you can only use the live support once you're logged in. So that is also very stupid. And so it was going back and forth with them for weeks and months. Then at some point, they just stopped replying to me. Then after 3 months of me messaging them almost every day, they replied finally back and then said, yeah, okay, we can give you the account back. We will remove the two-factor authentication. Then I needed to send them some, like, I think a video or a statement that I, Pierre Stoll, am okay if they remove the two-factor authentication so I can enter my account. Yeah. And then it actually worked. I was finally able to enter my account again. And then I wanted to withdraw. And guess what? When you want to withdraw funds, you need what? You need the OTP that they send to your mobile phone number, which never arrived again. So I was, again, trying to reach out to them. And then they ghosted me. And then it took literally more than a year. And it was always the same. I was very close to like, okay, now I finally got it. I was even talking to someone on a video call because they sent me some invite link. And then the woman I was talking to, she was like, okay, I understand. Okay, yeah, you can enter the account now, but you cannot withdraw because of the mobile number. Okay, understand. A week later, she sends me a message. Yeah, we were talking to our finance team, and sorry to say, but we do not support the Philippines anymore. That's why you cannot receive the number to your account anymore. And
really?
I already know that, you motherfuckers. I already know that since 6 months. I need a solution. I don't need to know that what I already know. And I swear, at some point I was just threatening them with like media and a lawyer and whatever. And it finally worked, because then I was talking to someone who's not a fucking monkey. And then he was able to, he asked me for my bank account. He said, sorry that it took so long. Just send me your bank account and then I will wire you the funds. Wow. And then they actually arrived.
That is surprisingly uncomplicated, the solution at the end. They could have done this
very uncomplicated, but in between I talked to 10 different idiots.
Okay,
yeah, so, I don't know what to say.
So obviously this this made Pierre feel very bad, as you can tell, and you don't want consumers like this with your app, because this is how they're going to talk about your project if you fuck up the simple things like this. So.
If someone doesn't give you your money, that is your money for more than a year, then I think I have all the rights to be frustrated and hate on those motherfuckers.
That is right. All right, so that is the eToro lore, and why Pierre is never using eToro again. So yeah, anyway, now you can buy your stocks on chain. You can just literally do it in your Software wallet. So that's a good news. Then what else we got? What else exciting? SNS is on sns.id instead of v1.sns.id. Not too exciting, but nice. Solstice-Fi. Solstice announced the Flare Season 1 is complete. I think it's still going on. What does it mean? It means that you can check for eligibility for an SLX allocation of their upcoming token generation event, and the registration is extended to the 24th of April. So you have 6 more days to check in. And I think then you are able to lock your SLX allocation ahead of the TGE, which probably gives you some rewards as well. So yeah, keep an eye on Solstice these days, because they are actually moving towards their token generation event. So SLX is going to be the native token from the Solstice ecosystem, and it will launch later this month. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And if you want to learn more about Solstice as well, then yeah, make sure to follow them at Solstice-Fi on their X here. And you can also check out, where is it? They did a space here where Eno was actually in as well the other day. You'll find it on their page. But yeah, shout out to Solstice and good luck for the upcoming token launch. Pudgy has a Pengu bot. So now they have an agentic trading bot. Curious to actually try that out. I wouldn't mind looking at that. An agentic trading bot. That means you can basically put money in and it will trade for you. Is that what they're doing with the Pengu bot? Definitely interesting. I haven't seen it on my timeline. Test post, don't ignore Pengu. Nice. Yeah, Pengu bot. Let us know, guys, if you've tried it out already. Definitely curious to see if that thing works, but I don't find any information here on the account. So I'm gonna hit back to the news here. Titan Exchange, new API, interesting hash exchange. Colosseum, obviously right now going on the Frontier Hackathon. Then we have Ownership FM. Quick shout out as well to Ownership FM from 8-Bit Penis, who's doing the Lord's work here in educating people about new age tokens, ownership coins. And they are doing a lot of seasons and sessions here where they talk about everything around that topic. So feel free to check that out if you're interested in ownership coins. I am, so that's great. What else we got? Umbra Privacy live on all 3 platforms, web, iOS, and Android. Umbra is finally here, so that's also great. Huge shout out to Umbra for tinkering and bringing private transactions natively to Solana. Privacy is definitely something Solana needs to, keep pushing, because other ecosystems are competing. And also a very big shout out to Crafts, because Crafts has announced their first race now. And the first race on Crafts is going to be Refi Hub, to be exact. So they announced this the other day here. Refi Hub is an RWA company that is already around since a few years, I think. So they definitely have some good credibility, some good street cred. And they are using Crafts for their ICO and to launch their token. And if you want to get into that, you can go to crafts.dev/waitlist, sign up, and then you have to fill out a little form, and then you'll be able to see the details around the race for Refi Hub. And obviously, you can also do your own DD on Refi Hub itself. But I am less interested in Refi Hub. I mean, nothing against you guys. I think it's probably very interesting what you're doing. But I'm more interested in Crafts and the concept and how this is actually playing out here with the first race. Because I am also looking very closely at Crafts as a potential avenue for interesting things we could do in the near future, as you guys might know. So check out Crafts, register for the first launch here if you want, or at least keep a close eye to it to kind of see how that's going. And then last but not least, we have a new trading interface at Hilo. So Hilo updated their front end, as it seems, and they have a new trading interface now where you can do all sorts of interesting things, because I think they're also in the process of getting new assets listed. Instead of just XSOL, I think you'll also soon have other assets you receive. XSOL, Hilo.
How about their airdrop? Do you know anything about that?
I do not know anything about what's happening there, no. I think BTC is coming soon. Okay, so that's new. XBTC is coming soon. So you'll have a leveraged position on BTC as well. Season 1 is our most important season. Market conditions, XP stats. So obviously, as you guys know, if you use Hilo, you can collect XP by holding their assets. Depending on what assets you hold, the biggest amount of XP you get from holding XSOL. Capital plus time is XP. Then you get these tiers and so on and unlock these levels, yada, 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 boosts. But I don't see any details on timelines here. Why seasons? Yeah. Yeah, I think for now, I think we do not know exactly what's going on. But I am very pessimistic when it comes to chances of seeing things like this being finalized in this market right now. I don't know if they can afford that. If they can afford doing a 0.2 token drop or whatever in this market right now. Because I think they're also probably struggling a little bit from the liquidity in the market, the non-existing liquidity in the market. But actually, this week hasn't been that bad. This has been the first week where we have a solid talk with a, fairly green chart. I mean, right now at this very moment, it is red again. But Solana has been going up and Bitcoin has been going up even more. And one of the reasons is that Trump is playing his little Trump games. Meaning, we don't really know what the fuck he's doing, but at least the Strait of Hormuz has been somehow letting a few more ships through than normally. I don't even know anymore, because it doesn't look to me like anything is resolved. They've been talking about new upcoming negotiations, or the last negotiations before the ceasefire is gonna end, which is actually, I think, very soon, next week, I guess. But right now, my Strait of Hormuz checker says that it is still restricted, but it has 20% throughput. So that is definitely more than we had last week. 20 ships went through in the last 24 hours. 12 ships are in transit right now at this very moment. Normally it's 60, so it's still low, but more than usual. And the ceasefire is extended. Second round of talks proposed for the week of April 21. So on the April 21st, we got another round of negotiations, and the 2-week ceasefire agreed on April 8 is, I think, extended as well. The reason why for now there hasn't been any conclusion is mainly because of the nuclear program of Iran, and the US, for good reasons, doesn't like that. And they want them to pause the nuclear program for 20 years. And they want a signed deal that they do that. And Iran wants to give only 5 years. And that is why we're still in this particular dangerous situation. Now, looking at the charts though, Solana has been going up a little bit. So we can see here from the bottom that we've been tracking now since the beginning of April. We've been printing higher highs, right? And higher lows as well. So we've been moving up slowly. And in the orange scenario, we are basically right now at the last resort for reversal. So if we go down from here, then we would go this yellow path, which looks and is more unlikely now than last week and the week before. Why? Because this wave, this potential wave 4 here in yellow has been extending a little bit too high now and crossed even the 0.786 fib level, which renders this move as probably unlikely to be a wave 4. Could still be valid if we go down from here, but again, Elliott wave theory is mostly about following patterns and updating probabilities on the charts whenever something new emerges. And this is something new. And it tells me that this white trend, for example, there's other ways to count this, by the way, the up movement, but the white trend becomes more feasible again now and higher in probabilities. Now I'm checking a 1, 2, 3 right now with a third wave. I don't think the wave has topped yet, but maybe it has. Is it possible? I actually don't know. It would be a very shallow wave 3 right now, which is probably not the case. So I think I'd like to see further extension here. I don't think if we drop much more down here, then this white scenario is also going to be invalidated again, and it's going to become something more complex. But either way, I think the next target is definitely going to be this last March high here, around $97, $96. So I think that would probably be the next big kind of target zone up here to reach on the Solana chart. And that would be the next push. And then from there, we could consolidate a little bit more again, and then move higher and complete the first wave 1 to the upside, and then move our way up here. I still don't think that this is it. So I think this is how I would still count this. I think we are just in this last push in a corrective rally. So chances are high that we're gonna, that we want to see that push. I think right now the chances are definitely higher than last week. Excuse me. But I don't know if this is it. So what we have to see, we'd have to see on the weekly time frame, or at least on the 4-hour or daily time frame, we'd have to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move to the upside here from the B wave to then become a bit more bullish on the long-term trajectory. If this is going to be a 3-wave move, right? 1, 2, 3, then I think this is our target zone, which is still a very large target zone, by the way. But I think anywhere between $110 and $140 would be a feasible target where the bulls might bring us, and then the world is going to think, oh, that's it, we made it. And then we're going to have a final push down to the downside, very feasible path as well here on the charts. So short term, quite bullish now. Long term, still hesitant. I think that is the prediction right now, especially since we have a lot of uncertainty in the markets, not just geopolitically, but also macroeconomically. Especially the US market doesn't look exceptionally well, with inflation rates going quite high now after the oil shock. Even, I don't want to say the word, but even recession is nothing to rule out right now, because I think that all recessions in the past have been triggered by oil shocks, actually. So I think it's just a very common denominator when it comes to problems in the economy, in the global economy. So just something to be aware of, and just be careful when moving in this market, and everything is not financial advice as always. Cool. Then enough chit chat about market Solami and general Solana news. I do want to talk about something that I saw on the timeline, and also I looked into it a little bit already. I'm curious if Pierre already looked into it, but I am talking about Claude Design, Pierre. Have you checked it out yet? Yeah. Have you already tried to use it? I don't even know if it's usable yet for us.
No, not really.
Okay.
What can I do?
So,
is it in the app also?
I have not seen it in the app yet, no. But it seems to be live already here on Claude.ai. You can log in with your account, and you can make prototypes. You can mock up anything. You can create all sorts of designs. Doesn't matter if it's landing page designs or website designs, or if it's app designs for your mobile app, or if it's PowerPoint designs, or if it's documents, or if it's social media collateral for your posts. Right? You can technically create whatever you feel like creating with Claude Design. It also allows you to export things super easily. It just gives you a little snippet with a link that you can give your Claude code, and then your Claude code has everything that you just created in Claude Design, and he will implement it. So Claude Design is not building the thing, it's just designing the thing. So for me, it looks a little bit like a mix of, it's like a AI-enabled Figma kind of thing that kind of went in bed together with Lovable AI or someone like these apps, where you have this chat window on the left and this, and then they made a baby, and then this thing came out. So you can do high fidelity designs. You can do wireframes. Means wireframes is obviously very rough outlines, or you can already make full-on applications. But what you have to do first before you can start working with this is you have to basically set up a design system. So if we create a Solana ID company here, company name, Solana ID is helping apps on Solana to acquire users with targeted marketing solutions, and offers personal perks on chain for users. Then examples for a design system. So you can link your GitHub. You can link code, upload files, and so on. So curious to see if they upload a fig file. Interesting. Add fonts, logos, assets. So yes, you can do things like simple things like you can grab this Solana ID kind of logo, and let's see what we have. Okay, this is a very good idea of me. If I just put in like this, maybe. So we have this thing, but I need other logos as well. I guess the best thing is to kind of just give it the whole brand assets or a Figma file. So in our case, we have the brand assets on this page for everyone to access, but I don't know if I can kind of export very easily. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, well, let's not do it now. But basically, once you set up a design system, you get like you're in your space, in your design space, which is basically a Solana ID space. And it will like after you upload all this shit, like if you give it really all your assets right now in this step here, then it will take literally 5, 10, 15 minutes. It will take a while because it extracts everything from your current design system. It will extract the colors from your logos. It will extract the force from your materials. It will extract the spacing between, like if you have website exports, whatever. So just dump as much brand assets you have, if you have already some, in it, and then it will extract everything from it, and it will create its own design system that's going to function as a template for everything you do in the future. And then the cool thing is, once you create a new design with it, then you can basically, you have these little triggers, so you can create something completely new here, right? And then you can change things on the live design inside of Claude here. And if you're not happy with the editing features here on the left side, you can just prompt a command and say, please add a function that helps me to, I don't know, change the frame padding. And then it will create a new editing. So you can basically prompt the editing pane on the right side. So this is not everything you see on the right side is not fixed. You can literally make that up with prompts. So you can tell the thing that you want a new editing feature here on the right side, and it will create it for you. So everything is adaptable. And you can, just like super quickly create mockups and designs for anything really that you can imagine. Which is potentially very powerful. I think you'll probably have to spend a few hours just working with it. And
but what is the what can this do for me right now that I really need help with? You know what I mean? Because honestly, all of this looks like I'll waste my time playing around with it.
Yeah, I guess you have to play around with it to know. Maybe you'll
waste your time
until you find something that works, right? Like
no, but I think I have a very strong opinion on this. Like all these guys, like Alex Finn, like he probably the #1 guy when it comes to this AI stuff. Whenever there's something new coming out, the first thing he says is, stop everything you're doing. You have to learn Claude design right now because of blah blah. No, fuck that. It doesn't make any sense. You only learn what will help you in what you're doing right now. Everything else is a waste of time.
Yeah, but you can't apply it to everything, right? Like there's a chance that this is actually helpful without playing around with it.
If you are not doing anything in your life that requires this, why would you waste your time playing around with it?
Oh, of course, yeah. But like, for example, I will, I'll start to dump my media assets, like my social media posts in there. Usually I have a lot of kind of ideas for social media posts that I'm not the one who designs the final thing, but I need to give in ideas, right? So I usually open up my Nano Banana or something and I start describing things. And then I start to try to tell Nano Banana what to edit in the picture, and then it fucks up. So if it can help me to create like a mock of a social media post artwork, and then I can hand this to my designer and he makes a polished version of it, that would be great. Everything that's like, because right now it's all the visual work that I do with AI models is just like very, is either does it great or it fucks it up, but I can't really adjust it detailed. Like I can't click something on the design and be like, I want this to change, or only change this phase, or I always have to describe it with words and be like, in the right corner, there is a thing on the table. I want you to change the thing on the table to this other thing on image 2. And then it always becomes like very clunky. I think Claude Design might give you a lot of granular adjustment options where you can just click buttons and prompt it very detailed.
I think that's probably their answer to Google Stitch, because Google Stitch
probably
fairly good. I tried it once, but then I quickly noticed that I'm actually just wasting my time, because the AI model, especially Claude, is if you give him the right tools, he's already so good when it comes to design, like front-end design.
Yeah.
You don't really need to create a prototype or a mock-up anymore first.
True. Yeah.
The design you're building can already be the live version, and then you just change it as you go. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you have the design and then you need to write the code later. So you do it 2 times. But Claude with the front end skill is already so good that you don't even need that for any prototypes, landing pages, websites, or whatever.
Yeah, I'd love to just try, for example, to design a pitch deck with this, because I can imagine that, like, when like pitch deck is one of these things, like, where do you do that, right? Like, either you do it in Canva, and you normally don't start with a blank page. Usually you just pick a template and then just follow the template kind of thing, right? For the sake of making it simple, which is cool, but then it's highly non-adjustable, right? It's like very templatey. Or you do the opposite and you want something really custom, but I couldn't do it myself right now. Again, PowerPoint, same shit. Either it's boring slides or templates. If I want something custom, I have to go and I have to write a very detailed kind of content of the deck, but I hand it over to a human designer, wait for the guy to come back with it, give feedback on the design. It takes days, right, to get this done. Here I have the feeling that, and again, I have to play around with it, but I have the feeling that if I design a pitch deck, for example, with Claude Design, this is my designer, and he's not a human anymore, he's an agent, and I can talk to him like he's a human, because the whole thing, unlike Canva or PowerPoint, even though they're also integrating more in AI, but this is like super adjustable with prompts. You can literally click things on the design and prompt and say, I want this globe to be, I don't know, different color, and I want the lines to move differently, right? Like even creating, this is a good example, like even creating advanced designs like this with the I think this thing can do it. And I would have to definitely get a designer to do this. Otherwise, you can, adjust everything on the thing super quickly, which is also very interesting. So I think it has potential. But with that being said, they also launched Claude Opus 4.7, and 4.7 also has better design skills capabilities now, because they increased the fidelity of Claude being able to read images. So they can read more pixels now. So that means the thing can take reference pictures and images in much, much more detail. So from what I've understood is that 4.7 is also, as Pierre said, already, again, even better at designing shit in the app, with the model itself, outside of design, right? Like directly designing documents and PowerPoints and so on, just based on prompts. So that might also be better. It looks like Opus 4.7, at least that's how they make it look like. We need to test it ourselves. They make it look like it's much better again than the competitors.
Yeah. It's all bullshit.
Coding, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, obviously
I swear, it's all bullshit. It is all bullshit. This whole Opus 4.7 and everyone saying that this is so much better again, it's all bullshit. Because over the last 3-4 weeks, I've noticed it, and I've seen a lot of people talking about it, even on other platforms than Twitter, where they say that it's all the time. It's like a cycle. They launch a new model, it's really good, but then over the time you use it, it gets worse and worse and worse, and you feel like it's getting more dumb again. And then they launch a new model, and it's basically as good as the old model in the first few days. You know what I mean? So the innovation between the models is not that crazy, maybe like very slightly, but they make it seem so much better now, because over the last few weeks, Opus 4.6 just got retarded.
Yeah. I see. And how do they, let's see how it compares to other models out there again as well. Because obviously we can also pick, like OpenAI is also not sleeping, I guess. I haven't used GPT for a long time actually. So I have no idea how good it is right now.
I think Codex is actually great.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. It's a bit slower, but the thing is, even though it's slower, you have the feeling, at least, maybe it's all an illusion, that he thinks a bit more about what he's doing. Opus is very enthusiastic. He loves doing shit, and sometimes he forgets to think properly. And Codex is a bit more careful, like a very smart guy. He thinks 3 times before he does something, and then when he executes it, it's mostly one-shotted, or at least less revisions compared to Opus.
Which is, especially for coding, really good, I think.
Yeah, I had like 2-3 times where I was trying to fix something in the front end, and Opus was not able to do it. Like every time, he just either made it worse, didn't change it at all, or fixed it and then something else broke. And then I opened the Codex session, gave him the same code and said, this is the issue. This is what Claude tried to do. And then I swear, like after 10 minutes, he found the issue and he one-shotted the solution.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I guess Anthropic needs to step up its game. Meshmesh says, I feel like I'm having the wool pulled over my eyes constantly with all the eye releases and products. What does it mean to have the wool pulled over one's eyes? I think it's nothing good. Then, before moving forward, do we have an NFT this week, Bear?
Yeah, we have.
Wow. Let's use the full hour now and move on to that part of the call, I would say, and pull up the participation NFT of today's Solid Talk, and distribute as well, as always. So, what do we got? Wow, beautiful. We got Solid Talk number 85 on the 18th of April. And we got another artwork from our agent. Designed specifically for this talk today. So big shout out to Agentic. We need to give him a name. We need to give the designer a name.
Jack.
Let us know ideas that are better than Jack. And then we'll pick one for our agentic designer here, who's coming up with these designs.
Who says that anyone is empowered to give my AI agent a different name? What the fuck?
Come on.
You know, Simon is also actually a shitty name, guys. What? How should we call Simon going forward? His name is like, nah.
No, you can't rename me. This guy doesn't have a name yet, right?
Yeah, he has. His name is Jack. I just told you. How would he feel if I tell him that you don't like his name and you just ask some people to give him a new name? I think it would also hurt his feelings.
You can ask him.
Nah, he doesn't have any feelings. Actually. He would already not talk to me anymore if he had any feelings.
He would probably, he's like a slave to you. He'd probably be like, yeah, no, but you can rename me, whatever makes you happy.
Nah, he doesn't like me. Carlos. He doesn't like it when I call him a slave.
Nice.
So he has some sort of
That means
ego.
Pierre did that. Okay, 2.0, that's definitely not going to happen, Cyber. We can't do that.
There's only one Sigmund. That would be an insult.
Carlos is not a bad idea.
Carlos?
Yeah, just Carlos.
But he doesn't have a car.
That only works in German, bro. And it's not even a German word. No. So what do we do now with that NFT? How the fuck, like, what's happening? Can I get it already? No, don't like it.
No.
So guys, you need to wait a moment. And you will be
you specifically cannot get it. Everyone else can. No, I restricted you. I restricted you.
No, you can't.
Oh, yes, I can. You want to see how I can?
Yeah, let's see.
I can show you what I can.
How does it even work? How do you restrict me on? Can you block me on Zili or what?
Well,
Okay,
I can block you from the internet if you're not nice to me and Jack.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on to the next part of Solid Talk now. Pierre unfortunately had to leave the call. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's internet is a bit shitty in the Philippines. Sometimes he gets rugged. Oh, he's back. Okay, he's here again.
I'm going to rug you if you do that again.
Okay, so talk.starID, I suppose.
Yeah, as always.
And
as always. And you can either scan the code here, or you go to, as Simon just said, talk.solana.id, or you search us up on Zili, and then you find this quest called Solid Talk #85 proof of attendance as every week. And all you have to do is enter your Salami address, use the code word Jack, not Carlos, and then you can get your NFT.
Sorry, Hector. Okay, what about Antonio de los Ángeles Ibargüen de la Calle? That's a great name.
Sure.
That's a good idea. Yeah, you should.
I will call my firstborn son like this.
Yeah, that would be actually not a far stretch down there where you are right now. Don't all your friends there have like 5 names in the Philippines?
Yeah, they have.
Because
they have a lot of names.
They got colonized.
Spanish,
American,
everything. Yeah,
a little bit. That's great.
But they also have weird nicknames.
Like what?
Like Tito Boy. Every family has a Tito, which is like an uncle whose name is just Tito Boy, Uncle Boy, because he's a guy. I think it's always the youngest uncle that they call Tito Boy. Then they usually also have a Tito Pogi. It's mostly the handsome one, because Pogi means handsome in Tagalog, so it's Tito Pogi.
They all lose their names. They all get vanilla template names.
Yeah, exactly. I swear every family has one of those.
It's so silly.
What else is there?
Secret word is Jack. Scanning QR code, talk to us on ID. You got it, guys. This is how you get this beauty here, designed by our agentic designer, Jack. Whatever.
There's also Tita Girly.
No way.
Oh,
really?
what did he say? At the princess? At the princess. That's their family nickname.
So basically, when you come into a new family in the Philippines, you don't have to learn a single name, because you already know the names.
Okay, who is Tita Girly? Who's Tito Boy? Exactly. Who's Tito Pogi?
That's so stupid. That is perfect material for
no, and also nobody has their real name. Like all of her uncles and aunts, they would never say, okay, let's for example, her aunt, her name is Richelle, but they call her Mami Tetel.
Just some random. To us, this is funny, guys, by the way, because we're not like that. If you're from a country where this is normal, sorry. Like, we're living in a different reality, okay? Like, for us, this is, like, in Germany, it's just like Hans-Peter Schmidt, that's it. Like, that's your name. And then you go with that. You're not going to have another name. But yeah, anyways. So, Hector says NFT unlocked. That is good. So, yeah. Talk.solana.id, guys. Secret word is Jack, and that's how you get the NFT. Now, one more thing that I wanted to double tap on here. We have an upcoming perk that is probably going to come next week, and I wanted already to give a little shout out to the company behind that perk, because actually it is quite a cool idea. Tramplin is giving you the opportunity to stake your Solana and get the chance to get much more rewards than you would normally get from staking your Solana. How? It's basically a lottery. Basically, that's what it is. Because you have a pool of rewards, a reward pool, and that is obviously coming from staking rewards. And then instead of giving everyone their shares in rewards, which is the normal way to do it, only a few people get exponentially more rewards than everyone else. And this is how you can basically, stake Solana and then have the chance to get much more money. Why is this actually interesting? Because
it's gambling. Everyone loves gambling.
It is like gambling, even though, and I agree with this, they do not use that word at all in their marketing, which I also think they shouldn't. But under the hood, obviously, there's an element of chance, right? In traditional staking, more solid.
Why not being honest? I mean, there's nothing wrong about it. You know what I mean? Gambling is, at this point, it's part of our society. Like, everyone loves to gamble. Why else would there be so many prediction markets that make billions and billions of dollars?
It could be a marketing angle to kind of double down on this. But I think it's just not their brand, like Tramplin. I think they're trying to be a premium staking app on Solana with verifiable and random distribution of outsized rewards. It's like the opposite of saying, we're the staking casino of Solana. Gamble all your rewards here, lose something or nothing. Or everything.
Maybe they should.
I'm saying it is certainly a way to do it as well. It's just not the way they chose to do it. But yeah, in traditional staking, more SOL, more rewards. On Tramplin, size isn't the only lever. That should be the tagline, actually. Size doesn't.
But you never lose your stake, right? So it's like either you get nothing, but still your stake, or you get your stake and exponential more staking yield or reward.
So the way it works is you stay staked. The time while you stay staked increases your multiplier, actually. Then you earn points. Those points boost your effective stake over time. And don't reset. Consistency compounds your advantage. So if you keep the SOL in, your effective stake actually goes higher and higher. And it increases over time. That is one element of.
Just a thought. I'm not sure if you know or not, but do you know if it's better to have one big stake portion position or multiple smaller ones across different wallets?
That's a good question. I think this is going to change next week, because Tramplin is implementing a system that I don't know exactly how it works, but it's implementing a system that similar to quadratic voting, which was a concept first brought up by Vitalik, I think, that incentivizes smaller holders over larger holders. So the more SOL you stake, the less impact it has on your chances to win something, if that makes sense. So it's a curve, instead of linear chances to grow. The more and more you stake, the less it will actually increase your chance to win something, right? So the curve goes like this: the chance to win something. Why? Because otherwise, whales could just exploit the system, right? And only stake with Tramplin, and then they will take all the rewards over all the smaller holders, which is exactly the opposite of what Tramplin tries to do, because Tramplin actually wants to solve the problem of smaller holders. Because if you stake your 5 SOL right now, let's say you have 10 SOL, right? It's like $800, and you stake it natively on Solana ID Validator. You get like, what do you get? You get like $8 or some shit per month, right? Probably that's $5 per month. So that's not great, especially for crypto users. That's like, like why do I even stake it for $5? Like, it's not worth it. Tramplin is like, they come around the corner and they're like, well, with us, you stake it, and at least you get the chance to win $500, you know, or even more. So that's cool. So it's kind of a psychological thing. But again, if you're just a few whales and you stake with Tramplin and you just gobble up all the rewards because you have much higher chances to win something, I actually know that happened in the past. And next week they're going to ship a feature that makes this better. So
are we going to invite them on Solid Talk?
We should, yeah, we should.
Because I would like to ask, because I was not involved, but what if they're trying to solve this? What do they do against people? Because the whales will still win. Sorry, but yes, it's good that you have a mechanism in place that at a certain point, it doesn't matter how big your portion is, you will not have bigger chances to win. But if you're a whale and you have $1 million, okay, then I just open 200 positions. And now the chance to win for me is much bigger compared to just one guy who has the same small portion as I have, but I have it 200 times. You know what I mean? So maybe they have something in place. It would be interesting to know.
Difficult problem to solve, but yeah, I'm very sure they have at least an answer to the question. I don't know if they have a system in place, but they'll have an answer. So let's see. Anyway, with Solana, you'll have better chances to win something. That is the TLDR, but more infos, more details. This is just the preamble. It's just a little alpha. More infos once the perk's actually live. And then we'll also try to get these people on the stream so we can ask some questions. I think it's going to be fun. But yeah, let's try to do that next week, I think. And with that topic, really, I think that was the last thing that I wanted to double tap on here in today's Solid Talk. Do you have anything yet? Do we forget anything? Not really.
I don't think so.
Not really. All right, lads and ladines. That means we're gonna get to a close here. Let's see if we have anything in the comments that I want to talk about. So Cypress says he hopes the system is random and fair. That is true. Yeah. Gamble is good only if you know you're doing it. Fair. Okay. Good point. Oh, Giannis said earlier, I break my consistency at last Solid Talk. I missed it. Oh no, Giannis, you didn't get to the NFT? My man, that's okay. It's going to be part of your lore that you missed this one. Alrighty. I think that's pretty much it. It's funny how some comments in my StreamYard, they just pop up later. Like they've been commented earlier, but I see them only now. Like they're loading, you know, for some time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, yeah, guys, I think that is pretty much it. Stay safe out there. I think like I said earlier, markets are still a bit choppy. Even though this week was a good week, maybe next week's gonna be another good week, but we don't know yet. Either way, until then, we'll find it out next Saturday how the coming week's gonna be. Until then, you guys have a good rest of your weekend and a good start to the next week. And then we will greet you here again at the same time, at the same space for next week's Solid Talk. Until then, get solid and stay solid. Peace out. Bye-bye. Yeah.